Good morning from South Lincolnshire. Did you know doubling your conversion rate more than doubles your profit? This is a vital understanding that you need to have. If you don't know what conversion rate optimization is, then you really need to watch this video. I'll go through some figures later for you to prove that concept. Advertising is getting increasingly more expensive, and so you need to be more and more efficient. You need to be that Formula One car making progress in every area of your funnel, which means your website, your advertising campaigns, and your messaging and other levers that you can use to improve optimization and get more customers for the same cost. That is what you need to do. Let's have a look at some figures.
I'm coming from a fictitious set of figures here, but they are typically doable and possibly not in the realm of sheds because I don't specifically know, but it's really not important. This is like a maths paper, if you like. It's just understanding the concept, and this is all this is supposed to be doing at this stage. The point of these figures is to show you how effective changing your conversion rate can be, whether it's for the better or for the worse. Obviously, we want it to go in a positive direction. We're also going to make an assumption on long-term value in the conservative sense. So in this case, we've got a £200 gross profit for a business for each shed that it sells. The long-term value will actually be more than that typically. And that is a very, very hard number for any business to calculate. So we're just going to go on the immediate value, really, which is £200 per shed. This comes from profit from the actual shed sale, but also from the fitting of the shed. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to fit it, so there are differences like that. And this is why it helps to have a theoretical set of figures instead of real figures in this case. So ultimately, you want to find your customer lifetime value, but we're going to go with £200 gross profit from a shed sale. And we're advertising on Google and Facebook to get this traffic and these conversions. We start out with a conversion rate at 3%, and we're going to look at how that changes when it gets to 6%. You can pause the video over these figures as you go. So we're saying the average Google click costs you £2.50. This is a theoretical click as well, so it doesn't matter. So long as we keep the figures consistent throughout, you will understand the calculation and why conversion rate optimization is for you. So 100 clicks costs you £250. And at a conversion rate of 3%, that's 3 customers. We're going to explore here what happens if those 3 customers turn into 6 customers for the same cost in advertising. For £250, we get 3 customers. So £250 divided by 3 gives us £83.33. This is our customer acquisition cost. This is a very important metric for you to start to get interested in. How much is it costing you to get each customer in this channel? So we've said we get £200 per shed per sale, and so the customer profit is £200. That customer costs us £83.33 to get, so that's a profit of £116 a customer. So as a business, if we can multiply that figure, we've got potentially a good business going on, and this is what we want to do. So instead of spending £500 on advertising, i.e. doubling our advertising budget to get 6 customers, what we're going to do instead is try and get more of those 100 people to buy. So whether they're more likely to buy customers through our ad optimization efforts, or if we're losing some customers because of our web page experience, whether it's loading slow or other subtle things. And that's what the optimization experience, that's where it comes in. Let's look at that scenario. So optimization, let's assume one day of advertising is £250, 100 clicks, £2.50 per click. So we know before that that was an £88 customer acquisition cost, giving us a per customer profit of £116. So for 3 customers, that's about £360 profit. So let's now say we double our conversion rate to 6%. So now our customer acquisition cost is £41.67. So that is 250 divided by 6. That's our new customer acquisition cost. So we get a customer for a lot less. So out of our £200 profit, now we only take off £41 per customer to get the profit per customer. But let's look at it over the 6 sales. So we get 6 sales and £200 gross profit for 6 sales, which is 1,200. After the Google ad spend, which is £250, we get £950 profit. The difference in profit between 3 customers and 6 customers with the same ad spend is more than double. So with 3 customers, our profit is £350. With 6 customers, it's £950. Now, how do those figures work out like that? It's actually 171.43% increase in net profit. And we do that by having 3 sales with a net profit of £200 minus our ad spend of £250 gives us the £350. That's our our net profit after advertising with 3% conversion rate. How is that turning into £950? Well, the ad spend stays the same, and this is why it's not a doubling effect and it's more like an exponential. So spending the same in advertising but getting double the sales gives us £600 profit. Sorry, £1,200 profit, which is, so 6 times 200, it's £1,200, same ad spend. So it's a £950 net profit. That's the key takeaway, and that's what I want you to take a look at. So what companies best benefit from pay-per-click and optimization? Everyone can benefit from optimization, but not all companies are suited to pay-per-click. If you're a low profit margin business, unless you have really high volume, then it's unlikely to work out for you. If you are a dog groomer, for example, you would probably be better just to run some local social media ads, Facebook, what have you, and trying to think of other examples. Or if you sell small wooden sculptures that you make in the back of your garage and you make £10 each, you're unlikely to do well because the cost of the click really quickly would get to £10. It wouldn't work for you. Once upon a time, perhaps, but this is the change that's happened. So it only works for businesses with a good, healthy margin where you can afford to advertise and where the value of the product overall is big enough to absorb the advertising. Some advantages with advertising are that you know where your money is being spent versus, say, a sponsorship with a local football team versus a billboard. It's really hard to measure the attribution of sales to those. So the other thing that we don't talk about, and we did mention long-term value at the start, you also get a referral benefit to doing work out there, doing good work. People talk about you, and this is referral marketing. So you put up a nice fence and your neighbours need a fence doing, they might come and knock on your door, say, hey, who did you use for your fence? Because nothing speaks louder than seeing good work. So this is referral marketing, and this would add to your long-term value. So you got that customer through advertising on, say, Google, and then you ended up getting 2 customers from it. You wouldn't have got those customers if it wasn't for your initial ad. So this is the long-term value. And we've today assumed these figures on just a single customer, not a true long-term value. We went conservative. Thanks for sticking through to the end. I hope that you can see the benefit to this. And if you can, try and apply these figures to your business, your product, and give me a shout, and we can chat about it more. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.